Hey friends, remember we were reading Junie B. Jones' Graduation Girl, a book I had planned on reading to you all in the classroom, and so we're going to read it right now online. Remember, in the first chapter, Junie B. Jones was so excited because her teacher said they can make invitations to their graduation ceremony. Chapter 2, Rhymes. I sat at my table very nice. Mrs. passed out colored paper for our invitations. Also, she passed out curly ribbon and lace and paste and bottles of sparkly glitter. Just as a reminder, she said, we do not paste glitter in our eyebrows, and we do not put lace up our nose, and above all, we do not glue curly ribbon to our heads and pretend that it is long hair. She looked and looked at me. I squirmed in my seat a little, 'cause that woman has a memory like a hawk, I tell ya. Finally, Mrs. went to the board and she picked up her chalk. On the inside of our cards, we're going to write a poem about graduation. Does anyone have any ideas for the first line? My friend Grace waved her hand all around in the air. Roses are red, she called out. Yes, hollered Room 9, roses are red. Mrs. smiled. She wrote it on the board. Okay, now what about the second line, she asked. Room 9 hollered again. Violets are blue, violets are blue, violets are blue. Mrs. wrote that line too. Very good, class, she said. Now, who can think of a third line? Maybe we should try to mention something about graduation in this one. Does anyone have any ideas? A shy boy named William stood up to his table. Graduation is here, he said, kind of nervous. Mrs. grinned real big. Excellent job, William, excellent job. She printed it on the board. All right, there's just one more line to go. Let's try to make the last word rhyme with the word blue, okay? She read the first 3 lines out loud to us. Roses are red, violets are blue, graduation is here. Room 9 thought and thought. Then, all of a sudden, rhymes started coming from all over the place. My dress will be new, called Lucille. My dad's name is Lou, called Jamil. We made it. Woo-hoo, called Lenny. Just then, Polly Allen Puffer springed right out of his chair, and he started laughing his head off. The zoo is P.U., he shouted. And then all of Room 9 laughed our heads off too, 'cause P.U. is the silliest rhyme we ever heard of. Mrs. clapped her hands together madly. Boys and girls, that is enough, she grouched. She hurried to Polly Allen Puffer's table, and she put him back in his seat. I do not appreciate that kind of behavior, young man, she said. We're trying to write a nice class poem here, Polly Allen, and your rhyme was entirely inappropriate. After that, I tried to stop giggling, but that silly point kept on staying in my head. And then, out of nowhere, another funny poem popped right into my brain, and I couldn't even hold it inside of me, and I quickly jumped out of my chair. Do you think this is going to be a good rhyme? Roses are red, violets are blue, graduation is here, and your feet smell like stink, I shouted. Do you think that rhymes? Thumbs up if it rhymes, thumbs down if you don't think so. Not so much. After that, Room 9 could not even control themselves again, 'cause that poem was the funniest thing they ever heard of. My teacher's eyes got big and wide at me. Junie B. Jones, didn't you hear a word I just said? She said, very annoyed. Then Mrs. hurried to my table, and she took me into the hall, and she pointed me straight to the office. Oh no, I wonder what's going to happen to Junie B.